Hey guys, welcome to my channel Corner Coding, and today we're gonna learn something about code quality analysis tool SonarQube. We will be using SonarQube's cloud version that is called SonarCLoud. So to get started, let's go ahead and create a sample Spring Boot project which we will be analyzing with SonarCLoud. To build the Spring Boot project, I would be using start.spring.io, the Spring initializer tool. So it comes very handy when we want to create a boilerplate Spring project. So I'll be doing it as a Maven project with Java and Spring Boot version 1.5.9. And I'll click on generate, so it will give me the project generated. So now we have imported this project in Eclipse, and let's see what boilerplate code the Spring initializer gives us. So it gives us the pom.xml with all Spring dependencies, whatever is required for a sample Spring project, like the Spring Boot Starter web dependency, Spring Boot Starter test, and also the Spring Boot Maven plugin. And it also gives the SonarCLoud demo application.java, the Spring Boot Starter class, or the main class from where the Spring Boot application would be started. Now, once the project is imported into Eclipse, let's go ahead and create a Git repository for this project. So we would be using the Git command git init. That would create a empty Git repository into that particular project directory, SonarCLoud demo. Now we need to add our source code to this particular Git repository. So let's add git add source and pom. These are the two directories and file we are interested in. Now let's commit them. Git commit with the message initial boilerplate setup. Okay, so we did a mistake with the commit spelling. Let's just fix it. Okay, so Git gave us some warning about the username and the author. Let's not bother about it right now. Now we want to push this particular repository into GitHub. So for that we need to create a GitHub repository for this particular Git project. So let's fire up the browser and let's go to github.com. Now this is a fresh GitHub account that would show you how to start a GitHub project as well. So let's start a project. So that would, let's give it a name like SonarCLoud demo and demo project for SonarCLoud analysis. It's a private project, so let's create this repository. Now once this repository is created in GitHub, let's not add anything, readme, license, or ignore. We simply copy this URL, we go back to our terminal, and we add this particular repository URL to our Git remotes of our local repository. Now we can do what? We can go ahead and push this code. So if you want to see if this remote is added or not, git remote -v. So see this remote is already added to a tag called origin. Now let's push this code to the GitHub repository. Let's push it to the branch called master branch. So might be sometimes if you're doing it for the first time, it might ask you for your Git credentials. Just provide that and the push will be successful. Let's go to the repository and see if our code has come up or not. Yes, the code has come up. Now let's configure our Git repository to work with SonarQube. So let's go to SonarQube or SonarCLoud.io and we can log in with GitHub. So this will not come up. This was a previous analysis which I've done while I was preparing the tutorial. But we will now, when you do it for the first time, it will show you the authorization page where you have to give your GitHub credential so that it gets authorized. Okay, so now let's configure SonarCLoud and try to analyze our simple boilerplate source code for code quality issues. So let's go to SonarCLoud.io. So don't worry about these links. I would be providing them in the description box below. So let's sign in and let's use our GitHub account for the logging. If you have a Bitbucket account, you can also use that. But since I'm using GitHub, I would be logging it with GitHub. Okay, so when you do it for the first time, this particular area would be empty and you will not have any projects. It will show 0 of 0 shown. But since a couple of hours back I was trying out this particular SonarCLoud setup, so this was a build from my earlier analysis. So now next what we need to do is go ahead and create our organization key. So this is already created. You can go ahead and create one more if you want to, but I will be using the existing one. While since I have connected my SonarCLoud with GitHub, so it creates a organization key with my GitHub profile name, appending a GitHub with it. So let's just copy this, or let's just keep it in mind. Next thing, we need a security token. So I had one more created earlier, like Sonar Demo. I'll revoke this for now and I'll create a fresh one for you guys, Sonar Demo, and I'll generate it. Okay, now these two are really important things. Let's just keep them somewhere. I'll use an online editor called editpad.org. So I'll copy this token and also let me copy the organization key. Now we would be doing two things here. One, we would be manually triggering a Maven build with a Maven command of, or a Maven goal of sonar. That would actually build my Maven project and it will do the analysis and it will send the data to my SonarCLoud project. So it will come up something like this once the build is successful. And next what we will do, we will automate this analysis using Travis CI, because Travis CI comes very handy with SonarCLoud and it also works great with GitHub. So the scenario would be like, we make some changes in our code, we commit, we push, and automatically the Travis CI build would trigger and the analysis would be done automatically. So we would automate the entire process. So first, let's go ahead and do it manually, the first analysis. To do that, we need to prepare a Maven command, Maven clean or let's just do sonar since we are. So we need to give three parameters. One is the sonar host URL. So we had copied the organization here. So let's just paste it. And next thing, the secret key. Okay, so this is the complete command. Maven's clean sonar and the sonar host URL, sonar organization, and sonar login. Now, since we are using SonarCLoud, we would be using sonarcloud.io. But if we are using our own Sonar server or Sonar server deployed on our local machine, all these details would be from our local machine. So I would be doing a follow-up tutorial after this, where I would be showing how to install SonarQube in our own system and use it for our analysis. So let's copy this and go to our terminal and try to trigger the build. So I'm doing it for like a couple of times now on my system, so it does not download the required plugins. It directly goes and starts building. But if you're doing it for the first time, it will take much longer since it will be downloading a lot of plugins. So wait for some time and let it do its work. Okay, so we see the build is success and analysis is successful, and we can browse it on this particular URL. So let's copy this. Let's go back to our browser and check the analysis. Okay, so there are 0 bugs, 0 vulnerabilities, 0 depth, 0 code smells, coverage is 0%, duplication is 0%. So because we didn't do anything on the code, we just tried a sample build. Now let's go ahead and add some stuffs in the source code and see how it behaves. So now we will be adding some RESTful web service to our source code, and we will rerun the code analysis again. So let's add a new package, .rest. Demo rest controller. Let's annotate it with @rest controller. Add a Let's do some operation actually. Capitalize. So let's just import them and add a return statement. So since it's a REST API, we need to do some request mapping. Sorry, start to uppercase. Let's return this. Okay, and let's return the capital. So now we have added a simple REST controller to our project, and now let's see if we get some different analysis than the earlier. So let's go to the terminal and fire up the same command again. Okay, so there is a build failure. Let's check what is the issue. Okay, now the problem is we have added a new class, but we did not compile it. So I think we need to change our command to Maven clean package. And then sonar. I think that should work. Okay, so that worked because that new REST controller was not compiled, so we have got that error. Since now we have added the package goal, so it will compile and it will package it. So let's go ahead and check the report if there is some changes, or did it do anything more for us. I think it's the same URL. Let's just okay, still it does not show. So it has given us some as calculated on January 7th, 3:39. Okay, so it is a new thing. So let's see what is this code smells. So demo rest controller, it tells me remove this empty class, write its code or make it an interface. So it's a 5-minute effort and we need 5 minutes to resolve this, and we have not assigned it to anyone. So let's see what our project says. One code smells, but I think we have some source code into that. Okay, now the problem is why it gave us a code smell error, and that's really good we have got that. So the code smell was like it was an empty class. Now we have written some source code, but still it's an empty class because we have not saved it. If you see, this gives a star, that means we have not saved it. So let's just go ahead and save this. Okay, now it's saved. Now if we run it again, the same command, that should go away. Okay, now let's check if this thing this particular smell has been removed from our source code or not. Okay, that's great. So our depth has been removed. So all this coverage, duplications, bugs, vulnerabilities would come up when you have a large code base. So for keeping this tutorial simple, I have just added a simple few lines of code, and I've shown you a simple analysis of the source code with SonarCLoud. So that's all for today. In the next video, I would be covering how to automate this particular project. So every time we push a new code, it should trigger the analysis automatically from GitHub and SonarCLoud. So if you like my video, if you like the tutorial, please like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe my channel for the next video. If you want some new tutorials, if you want some new topics to be covered, do post a comment on the comment section. Thank you. Have a good day.